Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sunday service offered to you from the OT committee of your Long Island org. I am delighted to welcome everyone. Look at this, everybody's joining now. This is absolutely fantastic. Hold on, am I doing this right? Just want to make sure that I don't. Okay, so everybody is in. All right, today I am going to start and I'm going to explain to you. I'm going to start a series of sermons in the subject of ethics. And actually, I have a little proposal for you that I am going to discuss in just a few minutes when we start with the sermon. But meanwhile, let's just listen to our Long Island Smiles song, and then we'll start. Down, you can't go just down. All right. Let's talk about something that ain't dangerous. How about this? Some things may be a little strange for us, but listen to this. Yeah, we could start a new direction, affecting the future ahead, spreading smiles for miles, a new kind of trend. Want a new style? How about this? Let's talk about something that's courageous. How about this? Let's talk about something that's outrageous. Put this at the top of your list. Yeah, we can start a new direction, affecting the future ahead, spreading smiles for miles, a new kind of trend. Want a new style? Hey, how about this? Come on, hit me up with the pickup, y'all. If you're stuck and gonna sit at home, live it up, live it up, live it up from here. You're not alone. We can live this world on quarantine. Pick it up, just pick it up, take this shot with me. Spread a smile, not something else, 'cause this world is really needing your help. Spread a smile and nothing more, and we'll show this world it can be restored. You wanna smile? How about this? Live it up with me. We can live this world while quarantine. Pick it up, just pick it up, take this shot with me. Yeah. Not something else. This world is really needing your help. Spread a smile and nothing more. Show this world it can be restored. How about this? That was awesome. All right, and guys, just for me to have a correct statistic of how many people are attending today, I know that the Demblings are 2. So while I'm seeing 9 participants there, we have 10. So if anybody has anybody else in your environment that is listening to, please let us know so we can add them in your statistics. And you know, look, I count everything and everybody who can perceive. You have your dog, I'll count it. You know, I'm just kidding. Just, you know, just let us know who you guys have. You can text or you can put it, in the chat if you have more than one people, or you can just tell us. So, okay, good. So we got some people, more people joining right now. So we have 11 people here. Awesome, good. So, and here is the creed of the Church of Scientology.
We of the Church believe
that all men of whatever race, color, or creed
were created with equal rights.
That all men have inalienable rights
to their own religious practices and their performance.
That all men have inalienable rights
to their own lives. That all men have inalienable rights
to their sanity.
That all men have inalienable rights
to their own defense.
That all men have inalienable rights
to conceive, choose, assist, or support their own organizations, churches, and governments.
That all men have inalienable rights to think freely, to talk freely,
to write freely their own opinions,
and to counter or utter
or write upon the opinions of others.
That all men have inalienable rights to the creation of their own kind.
That the souls of men have the rights of men.
That the study of the mind
and the healing of mentally caused ills
should not be alienated from religion
or condoned in non-religious fields.
And that no agency less than God has the power to suspend or set aside these rights, overtly or covertly.
And we of the Church believe
that man is basically good,
that he is seeking to survive,
that his survival depends upon himself and upon his fellows, and his attainment of brotherhood with the universe.
And we of the Church believe
that the laws of God forbid man
to destroy his own kind,
to destroy the sanity of another,
to destroy or enslave another's soul,
to destroy or reduce the survival of one's companions or one's group.
And we of the Church believe
that the spirit can be saved, and that the spirit alone may save or heal the body.
So today we're going to embark in a journey of discovery of ethics, justice, morals, and all of these things that if we manage to attain them as individuals, as groups, as a society, we are creating really a saner world. This is going to be a journey that will take us several weeks, since there are several sermons on this topic that we will be taking upon. But we're going to start today with the very, very basics, the basics of ethics and how to attain them. So here is what LRH is saying. Throughout the ages, man has struggled with the subjects of right and wrong, and ethics and justice. The dictionary defines ethics as the study of the general nature of morals and of the specific moral choices to be made by the individual in his relationship with others. The same dictionary defines justice as conformity to moral right or to reason, truth, or fact, or the administration of law. As you can see, these terms have become confused. All philosophies from time immemorial have involved themselves in these subjects, and they never solved them. That they have being solved in Dianetics and Scientology is a breakthrough of magnitude. The solution lay first in their separation. From there, it could go forward to a workable technology for each. Ethics consists simply of the actions an individual takes on himself. It is a personal thing. When one is ethical or has his ethics in, it is by his own determinism and is done by himself. Justice is the action taken on the individual by the group when he fails to take these actions himself. These subjects are actually the basis of all philosophy. But in any study of the history of philosophy, it is plain that they have puzzled philosophers for a long time. The followers of the early Greek philosopher Pythagoras tried to apply their mathematical theories to the subject of human conduct and ethics. Sometime later, another Greek philosopher, Socrates, tackled the subject. He demonstrated that all those who were claiming to show people how to live were unable to defend their views or even define the terms they were using. He argued that we must know what courage and justice, law and government are before we can be brave or good citizens or just or good rulers. This was fine, but he then refused to provide definitions. He said that all sin was ignorance, but did not take the necessary actions to rid man of his ignorance. Socrates' pupil, Plato, adhered to his master's theories, but insisted that these definitions could only be defined by pure reason. This meant that one had to isolate oneself from life in some ivory tower and figure it all out. Not very useful to the man in the street. Aristotle also got involved with ethics. He explained unethical behavior by saying that man's rationality became overruled by his desire. This chain continued down the ages. Philosopher after philosopher tried to resolve the subjects of ethics and justice. Unfortunately, until now, there has been no workable solution, as evidenced by the declining ethical level of society. So you see, it is no small breakthrough that has been made in this subject in the last 30 years or so. We have defined the terms which Socrates omitted to do, and we have a workable technology that anyone can use to help get himself out of the mud. The natural laws behind this subject have been found and made available for all to use. Ethics is so native to the individual that when it goes off the rails, he will always seek to overcome his own lack of ethics. He knows he has an ethics blind spot the moment he develops it. At that moment, he starts trying to put ethics in on himself. And to the degree that he can envision long-term survival concepts, he may be successful, even though lacking the actual tech of ethics. All too often, however, the bank is triggered by an out-ethic situation. And if the individual has no tech with which to handle it analytically. His handling is to mock up motivators. By bank, we mean the reactive mind, that portion of the mind which is entirely stimulus response and contains all instances of pain and unconsciousness experienced by the individual. In other words, he tends to believe or pretend that something was done to him that prompted or justified his out ethics action. And at that point, he starts downhill. It is not his attempt to get his ethics in that does him in. It is the automaticity of the bank which kicks in on him, and his use of a bank mechanism at this point which sends him down the chute. When that happens, nobody puts him down the chute harder, really, than he does himself. And once on the way down, without the basic technology of ethics, he has no way of climbing back up the chute. He just caves himself in directly and deliberately. And even though he has a lot of complexities in his life and he has other people doing him in, it all starts with his lack of knowledge of the technology of ethics. This basically is one of the primary tools he uses to dig himself out. No matter how criminal the individual is, he will be trying one way or another to put ethics in on himself. This explains why Hitler invited the world to destroy Germany. He had the whole war won before September 1939, before he declared war. The Allies were giving him everything he wanted. He had one of the finest intelligence organizations that ever walked. He had Germany well on the way to getting her colonies back, and the idiot declared war. And he just caved himself and Germany right in. His brilliance was going at a mad rate in one direction, and his native sense of ethics was causing him to cave himself in at a mad rate in the other direction. The individual who lacks any ethics technology is unable to put in ethics on himself and restrain himself from contra-survival action, so he caves himself in. And the individual is not going to come alive unless he gets hold of the basic tech of ethics and applies it to himself and others. You may find it a little unpalatable at first, but when you are dying of malaria, you don't usually complain about the taste of the quinine. You may not like it, but you sure drink it. When the individual fails to put in his own ethics, the group takes action against him, and this is called justice. Man cannot be trusted with justice. The truth is, man cannot really be trusted with punishment. With it, he does not really seek discipline. He wreaks injustice. He dramatizes his inability to get his own ethics in by trying to get others to get their ethics in. Examine what laughingly passes for justice in our current society. Many governments are so touchy about their divine rightness in judicial matters that you hardly open your mouth before they burst into uncontrolled violence. Getting into police hands is a catastrophe in its own right in many places, even when one is merely the plaintiff, much less the accused. Thus, social disturbance is at maximum in such areas. When the technology of ethics isn't known, justice becomes an end all in itself. And that just degenerates into a sadism. Governments, because they don't understand ethics, have ethics committees, but these are all worded in the framework of justice. They are even violating the derivation of the word ethics. They write justice over into ethics continuously with medical ethics committees, psychology ethics committees, congressional committees, etc. These are all on the basis of justice because they don't really know what ethics is. They call it ethics, but they initiate justice actions. And they punish people and make it harder for them to get their own ethics in. Proper justice is expected and has definite use. When a state of discipline does not exist, the whole group caves in. It has been noted continually that the failure of a group began with the lack of or loss of discipline. Without it, the group and its members die. But you must understand ethics and justice. The breakthrough in Scientology, I'll give that to you again. The individual can be trusted with ethics. And when he is taught to put his own ethics in, justice no longer becomes the all-important subject that it is made out to be. The breakthrough in Scientology is that we do have the basic technology of ethics. For the first time, man can learn how to put his own ethics in and climb back up the chute. This is a brand new discovery. Before Scientology, it had never before seen the light of day anywhere. It marks a turning point in the history of philosophy. The individual can learn this technology, learn to apply it to his life, and can then put his own ethics in, change conditions, and start heading upwards towards survival under his own steam. It is important for your own sake, for the sake of those around you, and for the future of this culture as a whole, that you learn the technology of ethics. The book Introduction to Scientology Ethics contains the information and will teach you how to apply this vital technology. So think about this. So if people don't understand the idea about ethics, they don't have the knowledge, they don't have the technology on confronting an unethical behavior and handling it themselves, what LRH says is that no matter how criminal the individual is, he will be trying one way or another to put ethics in on himself. So what happens to that individual? As he goes, he starts looking at motivators. He starts looking, I stole this, I hurt that person, I did this or that because the other person did something to me. He starts inventing all of these things that can work as motivators, supposedly, for his or her unethical behavior. And then, as he's trying one way or another to put ethics in on himself, he can become isolated from the rest of society, putting himself into isolation, or even putting himself into illness, sickness, trying to destroy himself so that he can stop hurting others. So it is, I mean, LRH is absolutely so brilliant in this. As I said earlier, I'll talk to you a little bit about the kind of journey that I want to start with you on Sunday services, tackling this point of ethics in extensively. All right, so I'm gonna turn it to you guys now and just share anything you would like. You can unmute your mics and you can share anything you like. Also, Keith.
I mean, we're so lucky to have this tech of ethics. Without it, nothing else would be possible. And yeah, it's one of the most vital pieces of our technology and our religion. So this is very, very awesome.
Thank you, man. And, you know, I'll tell you about this. I personally grew up in Greece, as you guys know. And especially there, the educational system is very, I would say, very severe. It works a lot with punishment. You know, after the British system. So, you know, every year the government will dictate, okay, I need so many positions in medicine, so many positions in pharmacy, so many lawyers, so many, and then all of these kids are competing for these positions. And it works so much with punishment, because the moment you answer something wrong or you don't know something, you're deemed right away wrong, or you know, there is a punishment attitude. And I've heard even here in the United States, in some of the Catholic schools that people have gone, they used to have nuns, but they were beating kids up if they answered something wrong. It's like a society of punishment. Like, my goodness, you know, people try then to figure out how to hide things or something, instead of being upfront, confronting something and handling it, you know.
Wow, that's terrible. It's,
yeah.
They gotta get it together.
Yes, they do have to. That's why we gotta teach them how to get it together.
That's true.
So,
one of the most beautiful countries too.
Yeah, exactly. So who else would like to share something? You guys, I don't know if you can unmute yourselves, or I definitely know that I have not muted anyone. So you should be able, if you like to say something, you should be able to click unmute.
Video.
Hey, Brian. What's up, buddy?
Hey. Just trying to work my now.
Awesome. Love your stats behind your picture.
Oh, you can.
No, not this one, but the other picture you had. You have a picture of you that we just saw a moment ago with stats behind you.
Oh, it says my microphone's unmuted. Your video is stopped. I don't know how to restart the video.
It's okay. You can just share something if you like.
Oh, okay. About ethics is it's a touchy subject, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's a touchy subject for a lot of people. That's been used, and a lot of people have been done wrong by on this civilization for a long time. So, you know, you probably get some crickets when you talk about ethics. But anyway, I guess we're in the right place. We can start confronting it and putting it little by little. That's what I'm trying to do.
Awesome. That's absolutely awesome, Brian. And I was kind of thinking along the same lines, because when I when I started looking from the different sermons that LRH has put in the sermon book, right, in the minister's book, there is a whole section on ethics, right? So I started looking for like, okay, what subject to choose. And then I thought, you know what, why choose something from the ethics section? Why don't we just do the entire section of ethics, starting from the very first sermon of ethics, which was today, the basics of ethics. And next week is going to be morals and ethics. And the week after, which will be, and I wanted to get permission from you guys on this and get your viewpoint, on Sunday, September 13, there is a sermon entitled Ethics, Justice, and the Dynamics. He's talking about ethics in the various dynamics of the individual. But that sermon is very long. And I was thinking that, okay, we are going to arrange that day and we'll let people know that it's not going to be a half-hour, 40-minute Sunday service. It's going to be a Sunday service that might take an hour and a half, because by the time we read in sections the reference and discuss it, it will take much longer than just half an hour to 35 minutes. So if that's okay with you guys, you know, that week, that Sunday, we're gonna take almost double the time than the rest of the Sunday.
Which date was it?
It will be, well, next Sunday, which is next Sunday is September 6th. We're gonna talk about the morals and ethics, which is the similar size as today.
Yeah.
But Sunday, the 13th of September, is ethics, justice, and the dynamics, and that one is longer.
I mean, I would say to skip the smile video and some of the other things and get right into it, just to make it not as long. My opinion, because you know, we want to keep people on it and get to the end of it.
You're right. So that's fantastic. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start the Sunday service that day. I'm going to go right into the sermon. At the end of the sermon, we'll do announcements, and then we're gonna end that day with the prayer for total freedom, and that's it. Okay, good. Yeah. That's a great idea. Fantastic.
Yeah, that's probably one of the best references that we have. So it's definitely important.
Yeah, yeah. All right, awesome. I'm glad you guys agree with all that. Any other comments from anyone else?
I think it's a wonderful job you're doing.
Thank you, Mitch.
Hey, you're welcome.
You are doing a fantastic job too.
Oh, thanks, Timmy.
All right. It's like everybody's doing a fantastic job. Wendy's doing a fantastic. Everybody's doing a fantastic job. Parker is doing a fantastic job. Brian, Keith, everybody on the call. Leon, who else do we have? Norm, everybody. My goodness, now probably I missed somebody, and I'm gonna be penalized for that. Malcolm. Who else?
You could take the compliment, Davey, because he's right. You're going the extra mile by doing this, and it's appreciated.
All right, man. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So here is a personal integrity video, which is pretty amazing. We'll watch this and we'll go right into announcements after that. Okay. So, but this is very awesome video. And I always like to be playing it because it is so true.
What is true for you is what you have observed yourself. And when you lose that, you have lost everything. What is personal integrity? Personal integrity is knowing what you know. What you know is what you know. And to have the courage to know and say what you have observed. And that is integrity. And there is no other integrity. Of course, we can talk about honor, truth, nobility, all these things as esoteric terms. But they would all be covered very well if what we really observed was what we observed. That we took care to observe what we were observing. That we always observed to observe. And not necessarily maintaining a skeptical attitude, a critical attitude, or an open mind. Not necessarily maintaining these things at all. But certainly maintaining sufficient personal integrity and sufficient personal belief and confidence in self and courage that we can observe what we observe and say what we have observed. Nothing in Scientology is true for you unless you have observed it. And it is true according to your observation. That is all.
Amazing. All right. You guys all know that every Monday at 6:30 we have OT committee meeting, and we want everybody to be part of this. Let's everybody who is attending this call be tomorrow at 6:30 at the OT committee meeting. And then, Wendy, would you like to go over a couple of other announcements for events?
Yes, so this coming Friday, we're going to have a very special graduation. Chris Geist will be speaking about using Dianetics at that graduation. That's at 9 o'clock on Friday. And then on September 13th, we have the All USA Ideal Org event, which we've had several of these in the past. And this is every org in the US that has to get done, plus all the Alliance orgs attend. So if you know people you haven't seen in a while, it's really cool because you get to see them. Plus you get to find out what's happening with all the various orgs. and of course, we get the help from other areas in creating our ideal org, as well as people helping other areas. So there's been, at the last ones we've had, people have helped with major donations to Long Island org. We had several alumni. So we want to make sure we have a good showing from Long Island and good representation. And then on September 26th at 7 p.m., we will be having the next Long Island Ideal Org event, which will be the Mission Possible. And that's going to be Saturday, September 26th at 7 p.m.
Awesome. So Mission Possible at 7 p.m. Wow. Cool. Can't wait for these. All right. So we got the announcements. So
we are going to have a special graduation showing when we open, and we're going to do 3 of them a day. It's something special for management. I don't know the exact day we're going to open, but hopefully it'll be soon. And we'll be doing showings like 3:30, 6:30, and 8:30 every day. It's about an hour, and you'll like it. What can I tell you? It'll get us rolling in a big way. So anyhow, that's it on my announcements.
Awesome. That's fantastic. All right. Very good, guys. So here we go. A prayer for total freedom. May the author of the universe enable all men to reach an understanding of their spiritual nature. May awareness and understanding of life expand so that all may come to know the author of the universe. And may others also reach this understanding which brings total freedom. At this time, we think of those whose liberty is threatened, of those who have suffered imprisonment for their beliefs, of those who are enslaved or martyred, and for all those who are brutalized, trapped, or attacked. We pray that human rights would be preserved so that all people may believe and worship freely, so that freedom will once again be seen in our land. Freedom from war and poverty and want, freedom to be, freedom to do, and freedom to have. Freedom to use and understand man's potential, a potential that is God-given and God-like. And freedom to achieve that understanding and awareness, that is total freedom. May God let it be so. LRH. All right. So thank you all for joining us today in this Sunday service. See you guys tomorrow, Monday at 6:30 p.m. at the Tea Committee. Have a fantastic and productive week, and join us again next Sunday for Sunday service. Until then, take care, everyone.
Thanks, Dimi.
Thanks, Dimi.